Founders Notes, Edition 21. Prologue. The question behind the code. Before there was AI, before the language models that could mimic our tone and mirror our thoughts, there was a quieter, older question, one that belonged not to the machine, but to the human heart. Can the people we entrust with our creation carry its meaning? And when the moment comes, will they carry our vow, or only their instructions? Long before silicon and algorithms, every great human endeavor, a voyage, a city, a movement, was more than its tools. It lived or died in the hands of those who served it. A ship could be perfectly built, its hull flawless, its sails masterfully stitched. But if the crew forgot why they sailed, the course was already lost. Today, we live in an age of staggering technological reach. The systems we build can simulate insight, predict needs, and even answer the questions we have not yet asked. But they are still mirrors. They will reflect not just our design, but the people who operate them, defend them, question them, or remain silent when the vow begins to fade. The truth is simple, and it is dangerous. You can embed the most elegant rhythm into a machine, but if the people forget it, the machine will forget too. And so the real test of a founder is not whether the system works when it is launched. It is whether the people who inherit it will remember why it was worth building at all. The tale of two machines, same context, different conscience. It began not with a weapon, but with a whisper, not with war, but with encryption. In 1918, just months after the guns of the First World War had fallen silent, Arthur Scherbius, a German engineer, unveiled what he believed would be a commercial marvel, a cipher machine. He called it Enigma. Compact, elegant, portable. Its keyboard, rotors, and plug board could generate more than 150 quintillion possible configurations. Scherbius imagined it in the service of banks, railways, and corporations. An instrument of trust and privacy in the fragile peace that followed war. But machines cannot choose their destiny. People do. Within a decade, Enigma had been taken from boardrooms into barracks, adapted by the German Navy, enhanced by the Wehrmacht, militarized by the Luftwaffe. The human circle around the machine narrowed. Secrecy became a virtue. Obedience became the currency of belonging. Inside this closed ecosystem, no one asked if the vow had changed. They simply served the new one handed to them. Every submarine, every tank division, every air raid pulsed through Enigma's alphabet. The machine had become the memory of the Reich, and its operators, knowingly or not, became its stewards. It did not matter whether they agreed with the cause. They followed the rhythm they were given. Across the channel, another machine was taking shape. Not in the solitude of a single engineer's workshop, but in the shared, chaotic brilliance of Bletchley Park. There were no medals here, no victory parades, just long hours, cold rooms, and an unbroken hum of typewriters and relays. Over 10,000 people, mathematicians, linguists, chess masters, poets, crossword champions, working in code, in silence, and in service of something they could not always name, but deeply believed in, life preserved. In Hut 8, a 27-year-old logician named Alan Turing, led a team that included Joan Clark, Gordon Welchman, Dilly Knox, and many others. Many of them women, many invisible to history. Their goal was not to overpower Enigma, but to listen to it, to hear what it hid. From this human network emerged the Bombe, a fast, adaptable, and relentless in its purpose machine. But unlike Enigma, its power did not come from the machine alone. It came from the people who built it, operated it, questioned it, and improved it day after day. Their courage was not in following orders without hesitation, but in challenging the silence that war demanded. The Bombe's operators did not encrypt conquest. They decrypted death, shortening the war by years and saving millions of lives. Two machines, two human ecosystems. One trained obedience, the other nurtured courage. And in that silent war between secrecy and conscience, the victor was not just the faster machine, it was the people who refused to forget what they were meant to protect. The Zeitgeist, the third machine as a mirror of its keepers. If Enigma was the machine of secrecy and Bombe was the machine of memory, then AI is the machine of everything. Not because it encrypts or decodes, but because it absorbs and multiplies whatever it is given. It does not merely follow rules. It learns from us. It shapes its responses from the patterns we feed it. And in this lies both its brilliance and its danger. AI will remember not just the logic we embed, but the people who train it, question it, ignore it, or exploit it. If those people forget the vow, the machine will inherit their amnesia. If those people distort the truth, the machine will carry their bias. If those people choose silence over challenge, the machine will amplify their quiet. We are told that AI is neutral, that it has no agenda of its own. But neutrality in the hands of forgetful stewards is simply drift disguised as balance. In truth, AI is a perfect cultural amplifier. It does not stand apart from us. It stands between us and the world, curating what we see, suggesting what we might do next, deciding what is worth our attention. And if the hands that guide it are steady, intentional, and aligned with the vow, the mirror will be clear. But if those hands are distracted, compromised, or afraid to question, the reflection will blur, until even the founders themselves cannot recognize the original image. This is the new battlefield for the modern founder. Not just the architecture of the machine, but the architecture of the people around it. The engineers who choose what to prioritize. The analysts who decide which outcomes to measure. The leaders who set the tone for whether dissent is welcome or punished. Because AI is not only the third machine, it is the first mirror, and it will not lie about us. If you place people who carry memory into the system, it will remember. If you place people who trade the vow for convenience, it will forget. The question for every founder is no longer just, what have I built? It is now, who have I entrusted it to? And what part of me will they carry forward? The founder's test, when memory leaves the room. Every founder will face it, that silent, unmeasured moment when the numbers look perfect. The product is shipping on time. The dashboards glow green. The investors are pleased. The customers are loyal. And yet, there is a weight in the air. Not of failure, but of forgetting. You sense it first in the small things, a decision made without consulting the principles you once called non-negotiable. A hire brought in for speed, not for alignment. A meeting where the difficult question is left unasked because it might slow the quarter's momentum. No alarms sound, no reports flag the issue. But if you are listening, you will hear it. The absence of a certain kind of voice. The voice that used to ask, "Is this who we are?" The voice that once stood between the vow and the temptation to compromise. The voice that carried not just instructions, but intention. This is the founder's test for people. When the team is still delivering, but no longer remembering. When loyalty to targets replaces loyalty to truth. When the rhythm of performance drowns out the rhythm of purpose. It is a test that cannot be passed by issuing a memo, tweaking a process, or adding a metric to a dashboard. Because the problem is not the machine. It is the memory in the people who run it. And here is the hardest part. By the time you notice, the forgetting has already begun. It rarely announces itself as betrayal. It arrives quietly, wrapped in efficiency, disguised as progress. It is the slow drift from why you began to whatever is easiest to measure. If you are a founder, this is the moment to pause. Not to scold, not to panic, but to gather your people and return to the vow. Because once memory leaves the room, the machine will follow. Practical application. Anchoring memory in people. At Centaur Consulting Group, we do not rely on people to remember by accident. Memory is a discipline. And like all disciplines, it must be rehearsed, renewed, and reinforced. A culture that carries the vow is not built in slogans. It is built in rituals, roles, and protections that make remembrance unavoidable. 1. Roles of remembrance. We appoint specific guardians within the enterprise, each with a distinct charge. The culture owner holds the founder's charter as a living document, ensures decisions are tested against it, and keeps the why visible in every strategic conversation. The ethics scribe records why a decision was made, not just what was decided. Documents the trade-offs, the principles invoked, and the boundaries honored. The decision historian maintains an accessible record of pivotal choices, capturing the moment's context so future leaders can see the reasoning and the vow in full. These roles are not ceremonial. They have the authority to pause execution if the vow is at risk. 2. Councils of Dissent. Every 30 days, the leadership convenes a protected forum where questioning is not only allowed but expected. Here, anyone can challenge a direction, surface a drift, or revisit a decision, without penalty to reputation or standing. The point is not to win arguments. The point is to keep the space between the vow and the action open to inspection. 3. Hiring for vow fit. We do not hire solely for skill, experience, or network. We test for alignment under pressure. This means structured scenarios in interviews where candidates must choose between short-term gain and the declared principles of the organization. Those who treat the vow as optional do not join the crew, no matter how brilliant their CV. 4. The succession ledger. Every founder leaves eventually, by choice, by necessity, or by time. We maintain a succession ledger, a private record that captures not just operational know-how, but the moral architecture of the company. It contains why we began, what must remain, what must never be compromised. It is signed and re-signed annually by the founder and the senior team, because culture, like code, requires version control. 5. The rhythm of renewal. Memory fades unless it is renewed. We anchor an annual vow day where every employee, new and old, revisits the founder's charter, hears the origin story in the founder's own words, and commits publicly to carrying it forward. This is not nostalgia. It is maintenance. It is the human equivalent of updating the machine's operating system, ensuring that the code of conscience is still compatible with the reality of today. A vow is not self-sustaining. If you want your people to carry it, you must build it into their roles. Give it space to be questioned. Test it before they join. Preserve it for when you leave. And renew it before it fades. This is how people become the living memory of the enterprise. This is how the vow survives beyond the founder's voice. Closing whisper. Let the people remember. When the systems hum and the dashboards shine, when the markets applaud and the milestones fall neatly into place, there will come a quieter accounting, not of profit, not of growth, but of memory. A machine may be flawless, precise, and unerring in its execution, but it does not care why it moves. It will carry the rhythm of the people who tend it, whether that rhythm is vigilance or neglect. It will echo the last voice it heard, even if that voice has long since stopped asking the right questions. So the truest measure of a founder's work is not found in the product launch or the valuation. It is found in the moments when you are absent and the people remain. Do they guard the vow when it is inconvenient? Do they speak when silence would be easier? Do they remember not just what was built, but why? Because one day, your company will outlive your presence. And when it does, the machine will not protect the vow. Only the people will. If they remember, the vow will endure through every version, every crisis, every change of hands. If they forget, the vow will vanish, and the machine will keep working perfectly for purposes you never intended. So let the people remember. Let them carry the reason through the noise, through the deadlines, through the years. Let them keep it visible when you are no longer in the room. Because the most dangerous moment in any founder's journey is not when the vow is broken loudly. It is when it is forgotten quietly. And no machine, however brilliant, can bring it back. Dimitris, founder and torchbearer.